Right, where is it? Oh, there it is. Hello again. My next game is Sonic Spinball on the Master System. And I think this might be quite a rare game. I've got a copy here that doesn't have an instruction manual, but it's such a simple game I don't really need one. Something that's kind of interesting about this box, it's a little bit different to the Megadrive one. You can see Dr. Robotnik has gone from the old Sega design to the one from the first cartoon, and Sonic seems to have softened up a little bit as well. Right. That looks like a shrunk down version of the Megadrive title screen, with some really slow music for some reason. Well, so far so good. The graphics look pretty nice. They do move a little bit slow though. And, oh, it's a bit of a problem there. Now this first level is the same as the first level on the Megadrive game, although not in terms of layout. The theme's the same. I remember that the Megadrive game didn't really run very well, and this one's exactly the same. It runs really poorly. And the physics are very bad as well. But I don't really think it was intentional to make it that accurate. In fact, this one plays worse. It's definitely much worse. And oddly, even though it's a pinball game, you don't get to see your score on screen. It's more like a pinball based maze game than an actual pinball game. In fact, for comparison, I'll show some footage of the Megadrive game. Well, yeah, obviously it's a lot different because it's a 16-bit game compared to an 8-bit game. But I think even for the average Megadrive game, Sonic Spinball looks pretty good. And something went a little bit wrong with the 8-bit version. It kind of looks a bit spacious, and Sonic is so small. I did look into it a little bit, and it seems like the people that made the 8-bit version only worked on one 8-bit game for Sega. They ended up being acquired by Sega and worked on quite a lot of different hardware actually. They worked on the 32X and the Mega CD and made a couple of Mega Drive games, but they only made one 8-bit game, so perhaps they just weren't used to the hardware. But 1995, that's crazy. And you know, we got this, but we didn't get a Master System version of Sonic Triple Trouble, which I think would have been better, because that's not the greatest game in the world, but it's certainly up there with Sonic Chaos. Ah, collected an emerald. One problem I had with this is that I just got completely lost. Now, of course, because this is Sonic Spinball, there's a little bit of walking around as well. And to be honest with you, I didn't know where I was supposed to go either. Before I played this game, one thing that I kind of hoped for was that the soundtrack would be an 8-bit version of the Megadrive music, just so I could see what it sounded like, but it's completely different music. And I think it suffers from the same thing that a lot of Master System games suffer from, and that's that the music is completely bland and forgettable. The other Sonic games on the Master System had pretty good music generally, especially the first game, and the second game was pretty good as well. But the music in this game is so forgettable. And it's probably playing a little bit too slow on this as well, because I think this game, you can tell by looking at how small everything is and how spacious it is. This wasn't designed for the Master System. This is a Game Gear game that's just playing on a bigger screen. Alright, the bonus round. Yeah, this one is completely different, and it's a very odd kind of arena. It reminds me of the boss on Casino Night Zone in Sonic 2. But this is where you can tell the controls are just absolutely awful. I really struggle to get out. There's a little doorway that opens up on the right side, and you can spin dash like you would in Sonic 2, but you just don't climb up the walls properly. So what you have to do is you have to hit the bouncers, those big bumpers, and no matter where you hit them from, you'll get bounced upwards, which it doesn't feel right. It doesn't make sense. But that's how you have to do it, and I do make it to the end, believe it or not, just about. So Lava Powerhouse is the second level. I'm bored of it already. Even just watching this video is making me bored. I'm afraid to say that I can't say anything about the effort put towards making the game, but they just didn't end up with a good game in any way. I mean, I suppose graphically it's quite nice, really. It's not too bad, and it is functional, even if it doesn't control very well. I'm not really a big fan of Sonic Spinball on the Mega Drive, and this is much worse. So really it's only one for people that absolutely want to complete their Master System collection, because the price generally for copies of this game is ridiculous. It's not worth it at all. So there you have it, that's the end of my video. And I'm going to stop because there's a train going by outside.